NFTs are nowhere near dead, and we're about to see exactly why that is. Memeland's Captainz is minting one day after this video publishes, so before that happens, we're going to look at the Memeland ecosystem and see how they turned a 5.3 ETH mint into a 43 ETH floor, how a free mint 10k collection is holding a 3.2 ETH floor, and how I think their Captainz mint is going to perform. This channel is all about exploring Web3 opportunities to capitalize on them, or learning about those opportunities to capitalize on the next one in the future. This video is a mix of both, so don't skip it and stay tuned to the end for my Memeland Captainz price predictions that is minting tomorrow. So diving in on June 16th of 2022, Memeland by 9gag launched their You the Real MVP collection at 420 items for 5.3 ETH each. Now at the time, like most projects before they take off, people thought the price was outrageous and unsustainable. But fast forward 7 months to January of 2023, and we are now sitting at a 42.69 ETH floor with over 2,000 ETH in volume traded. Now a month later, Memeland dropped their Potatoes collection, which was a 10k collection and a free mint. And that free mint is now sitting at over 3 ETH, sitting at a 3.15 Ethereum floor price. Now tomorrow, or January 4th, a day after this video uploads, Memeland is going to be minting out their flagship collection at 9,999 at a 1.069 ETH mint price. So let's find out if it's worth aping in on secondary and what a logical price point would be. So first, just to put things into perspective, let's find out how much value the real MVP holders have received up until this point. So obviously the mint price was 5.3 ETH, and to get in on secondary a couple days later was anywhere from 6 to 7 ETH. So let's call it 6 ETH. Now obviously the floor price is 42.69 ETH. There are also a lot of perks that they received on top of this. For one, each MVP holder received 2 free airdropped potatoes, which is now valued at 6.3 ETH, which of course if they sold now would basically cover their cost of entry into the ecosystem. Now to get a memelist spot, you need to hold at least 3 potatoes, with the floor price sitting at 3.15 ETH. That basically values a Captainz minting spot at 9.45 Ethereum. And again, that's just to be able to mint the Captainz for 1.069 ETH. And as you probably already guessed, if we go back to the Memeland website and we scroll down on the Captainz, you can see that as an MVP holder, you not only get 1, but 2 free mints of the Captainz tokens. Your 5.3 ETH investment would now be roughly valued around 44 Ethereum. And that's excluding all the other perks and whitelists that came with it, and the 2 free Captainz tokens, which again cost 9.45 ETH at current market prices just to attain the memelist spot to be able to mint the Captainz. Okay, so what was the point of all that? The point was to show the value that the Memeland ecosystem has delivered to all of their holders. If we look at the real MVP, these minted at 5.3 ETH, and again, if you wanted to buy them off of secondary, it would have cost you around 6 to 7 ETH a couple days after they minted, and they steadily kept pumping, and now they're sitting at a 40 Ethereum floor price. The potatoes, on the other hand, whether or not you owned an MVP, were a completely free mint if you were able to claim a spot to mint these. These are now sitting at 3.15 ETH, and of course, if you own at least 3, you get a memelist spot, and if you don't, if you only own 1, then you are sitting on the waitlist spot to mint these, because none of them are going to public to mint the Captainz. Now, what is definitely worth mentioning on the potatoes is that these started at roughly 0.7, dipped down to around 0.6, gradually kept increasing, and they're now sitting at over 3 ETH 6 months later in one of the worst bear markets we've ever seen in crypto and of course NFT history. So what that tells me is we've already ticked off one box, which is value, sustainability, and growth. It's been over 7 months since they dropped the You the Real MVP token, and since then they've not only continuously brought tremendous value to their holders, they've also managed to sustain all the hype they've built over half a year, which in the NFT space or any industry really is a feat of itself. Now the next thing we have to look at is the team, but I think it's fair to say that the team has delivered. They're very capable, and of course, considering what they've done in Web3 and Web2 and their value to execute, and also the fact that when these guys first started out, they had some of the best Web2 and Web3 advisors in the space, including a friend of mine named Gronk Wizard and Gary V. So the next question for this value proposition is, where are they going, and is it worth buying on secondary if you don't have a memelist spot? Well, if we look at what they're trying to do, they're actually trying to do a lot, and on top of that, they have a huge audience to market to because they're crossing over all their brand awareness from Web2. So they're trying to do a holders.com, a gmgm.com, staking for crypto, making it fun, and even Petsland. I have no clue what that is, but it looks like they're trying to do a lot. And the fourth thing, which ties all into this, is, are they going to make enough money to sustain all this? And the answer is definitely yes. Just from their You the Real MVP and the potatoes mint with the royalties, they've already accumulated over 4,200 ETH. Now at current market price, that's just over $5 million, but on top of that, they're about to raise an additional 10,000 Ethereum, which at current market price is valued just over 12.2 million. So with all that being said, what it tells me is that there's a competent team, they're ambitious, and on top of that, they have a sufficient amount of funds to invest in the products that they want to build, as well as sustain themselves for a pretty long period of time during these rough markets. Now with all that being said, then potatoes sitting at 3.15 ETH, and it takes 3 potatoes to get a memelist spot to then be able to mint for over 1 ETH. I think it's fair to say that we can see these valued at anywhere from 8 to 10 ETH at the start. Now, although I was fortunate enough about 5 months ago to pick up a memelist spot by burning some NFTs for a chance to win, I do still want to see if I can pick up one of these on secondary, because this Captainz mint is reminding me of Hate Beast and Invisible Friends, but with the potential direct direction of Moonbirds. And as we all know, the long term did not go well for Hate Beast and Invisible Friends. They started incredibly high and worked their way down from there, whereas Moonbirds started relatively high around 8 to 7 ETH and then worked their way up all the way to 40 plus Ethereum. So I'm guessing what I'm going to be looking for is a pretty high starting price, like I said, anywhere from 8 to 10 ETH, at which I think that I'm going to be looking for an entry price somewhere around 6 ETH. Now, I don't even know if it's going to get to 6 ETH, and of course, if it does get to 6 ETH, that's not a guarantee that it is going to go up from there, but based off of what I've seen, what I've told you guys, and the value proposition, and what it costs just to get one of these meme list spots, I think it's definitely fair to say anything under 6 or 7 ETH is potentially a steal, and then I could see these having a pretty quick run up to something like 12 to 14 ETH, and then potentially even going higher, again, following the path of Moonbirds. Now, of course, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to buy any tokens. All I'm telling you guys is what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking about doing, because I want to get more exposed to the Captainz mint, and it is their flagship mint. We've seen them deliver a ton of value, so I really wouldn't be surprised if these eventually went past 10 ETH. So that's pretty much it for me and my thoughts on Memeland. A lot of people are saying these are probably realistically only going to see a 5 to 6 ETH floor price. I may be a little bit bullish in my price predictions, but it just makes sense. And again, it's probably going to be worth picking up, but we will see very soon, because like I said, a day after I upload this video, the Captainz are going to be minting. They have a 48-hour mint window, so it is going to be very interesting to watch. This is going to be a very interesting week and a highly anticipated mint, probably one of the top 5 anticipated mints of all times in NFTs. So whether or not you have a meme list spot or you're just going to watch on secondary and see if you can get one, best of luck. We will see what happens. Let me know what your price predictions are below in the comments, and if you're going to be minting one or buying one of these off secondary. If you enjoyed this video and found it insightful or helpful in any way, make sure to like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.